We live. What's up? What's up? What's up, Rolling Out family? Yo, today we have the pleasure of speaking with a gentleman who has put his words into action and created a platform that focuses on changing lives and our mental health. Christopher LeMark is a visionary and a doer who has founded Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health, an organization centered around the normalization of therapy. As a result of this amazing work, LeMark has opened up a coffee shop in Chicago to help fund this initiative. His organization has fed thousands and helped to shed more light on the idea of seeking therapy and mental health. Today on Life's Playbook, we welcome Christopher LeMark. Yo, what's good, brother?
Man, I feel good. That's a really good intro, man. Thank you. I feel good.
Hey, you deserve it, brother. You deserve it, definitely. I really appreciate you taking out the time to speak with us today. And man, I want to provide you an opportunity to talk about this initiative that you have going and everything else that's attached to it. So just to jump right into it, can you share with us some history of how you created such an impactful organization?
Yeah, brother. So it was October 2018. I was having like a pretty crappy day, working at a pretty crappy job downtown in the sales, like the corporate sales world.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going through that cycle of just surviving. I had a lot of unresolved childhood trauma. So when people see the logo 64536 at the bottom, and that's where I experienced so much childhood trauma, physical and emotional abuse. And so I have been carrying all of that stuff mixed with life, hard decisions or mistakes, and a culmination of pain and all type of triggers. And so in October 2018, leaving that crappy job for break, I was 39. I couldn't afford lunch. I mean, just imagine that 39 years old, working a full-time job every day, probably putting 45 hours in a week, and I couldn't afford lunch. So I was
Right.
just like overwhelmed because I wasn't happy. I was miserable. Life wasn't fun, man. It wasn't enjoyable. And after spending so many times being suicidal like attempts, leading to that moment of getting up, just saying, hey, I'm going to curb my appetite, grab a cup of coffee. I walk through the pathway. I walk inside a Millennium Park train station. There's a Starbucks that sits in the middle of that train station. And I walk into it, 12:30 pre-pandemic, so you can imagine it's super crowded, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sit down, I put Meek Mill on my headphones. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished, right? I'm listening to that and I'm sipping on coffee, picking apart like this piece of lemon loaf pound cake, whatever. And I just started crying. I'm like, it's crowded, but I just started crying because I didn't know it in the moment, but once I got past it, I realized it was just of all the stuff I had been through, all of the stuff I had tried to do, like to survive and deal with this unresolved childhood trauma, not having my parents,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing my sisters really doing, doing like a bulk of my life and really living a lonely, depressive life. And I just fell apart, man. Couldn't stop crying. Couldn't wipe the tears fast enough. I was having what I describe as a mental and emotional breakdown. It was a crossroad for me. What am I
Mm-hmm.
going to do, right? I knew I wanted to. Like continue to live, and that was really important to me. Like, so what I did, I said, hey, you know what? It's time to go to therapy. I really have to go and change my life. So once I entered therapy, like probably like a few weeks later from that moment, it was hard, brother, because I started to relive some of the stuff I had forgotten about or pushed to the back. And then one week, my therapist sat up in this chair and he said, Christopher, it wasn't your fault that you were abused. And from there, I went home one day knowing that hip hop has been my first form of therapy. It was where I got my voice and my confidence and really feeling like I had something. I wrote down 3 words that changed my life. I scribbled coffee, hip hop, and mental health. Coffee because of the emotional breakdown and breakthrough happened inside of that Starbucks in Millennium Park train station.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop, man, because as an artist in Chicago for 20 years, it's our first form of therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
bridge. It's what brings all these different things together. And mental health is because I was thinking about my friends and my family. This is something that we wasn't talking about in our community. And I wanted to normalize being okay to talk about your stuff, your emotions, your feelings, and being vulnerable. And that's where this whole thing comes from, man.
I'm glad that you make the distinction of break down to break through,
Yes,
because there's another side of this, right?
absolutely.
Now, why is it important that this conversation around mental health is normalized?
Man, that's such a really good question. It's really important, Sice, because just think about the many people who are struggling every day. A lot of people are struggling with trying to keep it together. You know, like when you hear people say, they got one more time. Woo! They got one more time.
One more.
We got one more time.
Mhm.
Imagine how many people are fighting not to implode or explode, right? People are having emotional fallouts all the time and they don't know what to do. And like myself and many people, I was sleeping around, right? And it wasn't
Mhm.
so much about just sleeping around. It was about finding peace, finding peace. You're just trying to find somebody to make me feel good. People are finding all type of interesting and harmful ways to cope to get through the day. So normalizing therapy and a mental health conversation is important so we can give people that space to talk about their stuff without bias, consequence, or judgment so they can stop doing the things that they used to cope to cause other people harm or themselves.
Definitely. I appreciate that. And what I like and what I love about what you do is that it's not, well, from my perspective, I see that it's not mental health that you're attacking directly, but the symptoms surrounding it. So when I say that, what I mean to say is, you go. Oh, when I say that, what I mean to say is, you fed thousands of people last year.
Well,
Um,
this is
yeah,
not
go
a
ahead.
brag moment, but maybe I'm gonna flex a little bit, flex on
Go
my.
ahead.
Yeah, we actually fed more than 7,000 families
No,
last year.
go ahead. Go ahead. Say that loud with your chest. You fed
Yeah,
more than how many?
yeah, more than 7,000 families, and we getting ready to feed 500 more families this Saturday, August 28th, on the south side of Chicago. But we'll get into that later.
Definitely. What talk about why that component of your work is so important, feeding thousands of people.
So I grew up homeless and displaced my whole life. So I'll say like the first 30 years of my life, I didn't really know what to do, right? And it was where I dealt with so many back-to-back traumatic things. But in those, like my first 30 years, I was heavily food insecure. So I developed a habit out of eating out the garbage can very early by being locked in the basement in an enclosed porch at 6453. Um, and it was just something that I learned in survival very early. If I ate one meal a day, think about it, a very growing boy, young person running around every day. If you get one meal a day or you eat less, your appetite is constantly growing, right? And so I didn't have the privilege like to go in the refrigerator as a child, right?
Mhm.
And then you think about growing up, even though I'm an adult, like I said, I couldn't afford lunch. And that's the thing about food insecurity. It doesn't mean like you're necessarily poor. It just means that you don't have the consistent, adequate amount of finances to buy the best food. And then uh, to answer your question directly, the reason why this is really important, not just for my own stuff, but your gut is your second brain, Sice. When you think
Mhm.
about how people are functioning and like acting in their neighborhood, well, just look at what they're eating or not eating, right? Look at their diet, their history of what they're putting on the inside of them, and mix with functioning at a high level of fear. If you don't eat right, you don't live right, you don't behave right, and you certainly don't act right. So
Yes, 100%.
yeah, like so it's important for us to give give people good food, essentials, and teaching them how to eat right. That's really important.
You know, that's amazing, and it's very important because, again, that speaks more to the symptoms of what can lead to these things, and that's you addressing them. One other thing I wanted to touch on, because it's really kind of one of the main reasons that we're here right now. You're sitting inside of your coffee shop
Yes.
on
Yeah.
the north side of Chicago.
Yes.
What was that process like in even getting that set up?
So, it started with a seed, man. Like I knew when I built this business plan for the organization, I knew I wanted to have a coffee shop, but I wasn't thinking about that until like 2023, 24. But
Mm-hmm.
George Floyd like situation, like Brianna and Ahmaud Arbery and all these different things that were happening, and then the peaceful protests and the looting and the shutting down of grocery stores on the South Side, and knowing that we couldn't do the coffee, hip hop, and mental health events like everyone because of
Mm-hmm.
COVID. We were just watching the exasperation of all the problems that existed before COVID. And so I'm thinking, like, if people were already poor or struggling in a food desert, and now you closing grocery stores and people don't have jobs and money is really low, well,
Mm-hmm.
those who are unfortunate or were already unfortunate are even more and more less fortunate, right? So I say, you know what? We have to start feeding families. So as a way to fundraise, we teamed up with um, Trez Pugh, who owns Sip and Savor on the South Side. And we
Shout out to Trez.
shout out to Trez all day, and we started working with him, and we were selling like coffee beans, right, and T-shirts, doing pop-ups at one of his 3 locations on the South Side. And then I said, you know what, we need to like probably try to figure out open up this coffee shop a little earlier so people can walk into a refuge that is coffee, hip hop, and mental health,
Right.
not just for coffee, but just that therapeutic exchange of encouragement, right? And to help them pay for therapy if necessary. So we went to Boxville, and like shout out to Sandria Washington and the whole
Yes, yes.
at like Boxville. They donated us a 20-foot trailer. And boy, thank you for the city of Chicago for being patient with us because our coffee was trash. Be honest, man, I don't have any coffee shop experience as a barista, but with the help and support of so many brands like Passion House Coffee, Sip and Savor, La Cologne, they helped us get to a point where we can serve a really good cup of coffee. But
Mm-hmm.
that's how we started, man. It was like, how do we help? How do we feed families in the midst of raising funds? I just didn't ever want to get to a point where we didn't have enough money, right?
Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting for donations and waiting for grants, we needed to make money every day. So one of our strategists on our team, Vaughn, came and said, "Look, I live north. People on the north side, they would love to walk up the street and support you when it's convenient, and you can sell a higher price coffee in a thriving neighborhood because it's
Mm-hmm.
possible to sell coffee consistently every day, an expensive gourmet cup of coffee, right, in a food
Mm-hmm.
desert." And so we said, let's go north. And so she scouted out a place, met the amazing management team. They gave us a donation of 90 days. And then we took that seed and we took that blessing, and like the community donated $3,000 so we can open, so we can build all the plumbing. And here's the beautiful thing: we took that $3,000 seed, that 90-day donation, and we raised 180 some odd $1,000 in coffee shop sales since we opened on November 18, 2020.
Yes, that's amazing. And that brings me to my next question. And you kind of answered it already because you said the community helped donated $3,000. Just in totality, how were you received by that community?
Man, instantly. I'm telling you, instantly. We raised $8,000 and just in our first 2 weeks. So we had already like met like the investment, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and more. And it was $8,000, and I think the next month I'm pretty sure like we hit anywhere between 16, 17, and then it went. No, actually, I'm sorry, it was like $23,000. So we went from $8,000 raising to 20 plus $1,000 the very next month. Not only did the community in Lakeview show so much support, which they do every single day, but the
Yes.
city of Chicago, they're coming from far south, far west, far east, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan. People literally drove from Michigan just to walk into coffee, hip hop, and mental health during the midst of COVID, just to walk in here for 5 minutes because they said, look, you give us hope. We appreciate it. And so it's only right, man, that we continue to build, brother.
You know, I know that you've hit a bump in the road when it comes to the shop. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I said, we're grateful for all the support, right? And we're grateful for like the support here from a management standpoint. But the reality is we have been fighting for a lease since December 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they let us move in here for a pop-up. We asked them for like free rent. They gave us free rent, right? Thank you for that. But we were talking about paying for a lease. People donate and give to us all the time, but what we do is we take what people donate to us, we flip it and raise more money. So if someone give us $1,000, I'll take that, turn into merch, and flip that into 4 or 5 thousand. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody who donate money, resources, ideas, or space, we're always going to flip it so we can make more money, so we can do more work. And so we knew right away that we could build a viable, thriving coffee shop. We knew it. We knew it instantly. So you know me, bro. Like I don't waste no time when it comes to getting that work, right?
Right.
I'm fighting out for myself. I'm fighting for the south and west side of Chicago, and now,
Right.
honestly, we fighting for the whole city because when we moved here, we realized it wasn't just black and brown people struggling. When you step outside your neighborhood and you see the stuff in front of you, and we hear all the stories, yo, we fighting for the whole city.
Right.
So, People's Coffee Shop is a love letter to the city of Chicago, and we wasn't given a fair shot to have a lease because they was talking about a non-compete the entire time. Okay, so the non-compete wouldn't allow us to fulfill a lease here, so we were handed papers to leave. Simple. And that was frustrating for me because I felt like when we have been talking about something so important, right? And it's I was a lot of it was a lot of emotion with that. I'm trying to be cool because I love this work.
Of
And we
course.
it's from the ground up, right? And I'm just trying to be careful here, but even though I flow in the spirit of gratitude, I'm fighting for a bigger issue. I'm fighting for the people that can't afford therapy as the coffee shop. Not only do we sell coffee and merch like to raise money, like to operate and take care of feeding families, but we pay for people to go to therapy. So I got people who are signing up every day telling us their worst stuff, every race, every age group. And so when someone tells us that we have to close due to a non-compete that doesn't make sense, it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? But you know what I chalked it all up to? I said, you know what? We have acquired over 4,000 customers since we opened these doors in Lakeview, right? We
Yep.
established a brand here, clientele, right? Consistent people. We love the city of Lakeview. So we're just going to rebuild right in Lakeview, and we'll disclose that like to the public soon. But when I thought that we were going to lose, the city of Chicago came together, and we already raised a little above $10,000 in the last week.
That's amazing.
And that's just donations. Canada, Colorado, all over Chicagoland, LA, so forth and so on, have been buying merchandise, brother. We have successfully sold to not only all 50 states here in America, but brother, we have been selling to the Virgin Islands, London, Canada, Germany. You feel me? So this thing is a marathon, just like healing is a marathon, building the coffee shop, working for the people is a marathon. And so even though, yes, we hit a bump in the road and we have to close our doors temporarily on September 15th, because of the city of Chicago and the country for stepping up, we're almost there. We're able to open up our flagship coffee shop. So we just need people to keep
Wait,
donating.
wait, wait. Is this exclusive? Am I getting an exclusive right now?
Oh man, you're getting an exclusive, man. We are going to open up our flagship coffee shop. We are going to do it because of Chicago. So I'm telling you all to keep donating. We asked for $50,000. We're a little above 10. So just so people can understand why we're asking for money, We were originally like supposed to be able to stay in here on a month-to-month lease until we renegotiate with the business that's claiming to non-compete, along with management. That was our original agreement, to close the doors September 30th, October 1st. So because we have to shut down early, we averaging $16,000-$17,000 a month. Closing early puts me in a position where I can't make that money,
Right.
only to shut down, pay people to come in here, take all this down, and to move, right? Going to another facility. You know, all the art on the wall, all that stuff has to be redone all over. So that's going to cost me a cool $25,000 just alone, just to rebuild the coffee bar, all the art, all the decor, right?
Right.
So that's why we're saying, please donate. Please come and get a donut, coffee, lemonade, whatever. Buy some merchandise so we can rebuild, so we can continue to do what we do, because this coffee shop is a food pantry, and we own Normalized Therapy University, where we pay $750 per individual, family, or couple to go to therapy. We're taking risks. This is what we do. This is why we need people help.
You know, Chris, there you've mentioned a lot of things, and you know the reason why you're doing the work and many of the results that have come from it. What I'd like for you to touch on is the idea of the space, the
Ooh.
shop, right? What does the shop mean to the people?
Man, when people come in here, they say it feels so good in here. When people come here, they tell us, we ask them how they're doing, they tell us good, bad, or indifferent. It's literally a safe space for this city. People can come in here, chill. I tell them there's no pressure to buy. Even when people walk in the door and they want to spend money with us, we give them free merchandise, free coffee, because our motto is, have you been loved today? A lot
Yes.
of times people just think you have to do something to get something, but what we teach our people here is that this is the community shop. This is the people shop. So when you come here, we're gonna love on you, give you
Yep.
space like to talk and share, and give you therapeutic resources. And you know how we do every Wednesday. People come in here and have weekly conversation with a different therapist. And when people come together, man, they talk with no judgment, no bias, like no consequence. We give people the space to cry, to breathe, to yell, to do whatever they want to do. Because, man, we are literally saving lives, like through coffee and merchandise sales. So for the people, this is good energy, good love, good vibe. But most of all, it is a refuge and a safe space.
You know, I can speak from experience having been a part of a lot of those conversations,
Yeah.
and it is an opportunity just to be around people who care, right? And just to be able to have an opportunity to have that conversation or just not say anything. You know what I mean? It's so amazing. And I think and I know for a fact that spaces like this definitely save lives. And I know that you will raise the money. You know what we're gonna say, it's already raised right now. We that 50,000 and more is already raised. But with that being said, how can people donate to you right now?
Man, y'all can text donate.ntu21 to 77948. Text donate.ntu21 to 77948. Or you can go to the website, chhamh.org. Click on donate, and you can donate directly on the site. Or you can buy merchandise coming to the coffee shop. We're open for business until September 11th. We at 3243 North Broadway. We open 7 days a week. But this is what I ask the city of Chicago. If you don't have any money and you can't do it, that's okay. Pray for us. Send good love. Speak good words of our organization. And if you know somebody who's struggling, they need food, that they need therapy assistance, reach out, click on the tab, get therapy, and we're here to help you.
Christopher Lamarck, rolling out family. You see what this brother is doing right now.
Yeah.
You see what it is. So we need to come together as a family and help push this over the top. Brother, thank you so much for taking out this time to speak with us today, man. I just want to say it out loud so the people know, brother, I love you. I
I
love this work that you're doing.
love you
This
too,
is an
guys.
amazing work, and you always have my support, brother.
Sites, I appreciate you, man. Look, if I can say this, man, I'm proud of your transformation, man. Like you lost some weight, man. Like you look great. You know how tough it was last year, but in the midst of COVID, watching you every day, rain, sleet, snow, working out. I'm proud of you, brother. It's a testament that we really can transform physically and mentally.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you, brother, thank you for sharing your platform, like with us in the Coffee Hip Hop and Mental Health family. However, we can support you and the Rolling Out team. Let us know.
Yes, sir. Rolling Out family again. Let's support coffee, hip hop, and mental health. And as I always say, stay focused, positive, and productive.
Yo,
Peace.
yo, peace.